The table provided below shows paired data for the heights of a certain country's presidents and their main opponents in the election campaign. Construct a scatter plot, and does there appear to be a correlation? So we're going to open up our data in the StatCrunch, and then here's our data. We have the first column that represents the president's height, and then the second column is the opponent's height. So we're going to click on the icon, open this up in the StatCrunch. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to create a scatter plot. So let's go to Graph, select Scatter Plot. We want our X variable to be the first column, which was the president's height. We want our Y variable to be the second column, which is the opponent's height. Okay, and then we can scroll down a little further. We want to make sure that the points is what's being displayed. And then what might be helpful is to put the horizontal and vertical lines. Okay, we already know what the x-axis label is, but let's just go ahead and do that anyway. We're going to call that president's height. And then the y-axis label is going to be the opponent's height. Now let's go ahead and select compute. Now, if you notice down here, right, in all the graphs, they start at 160 on the x-axis that goes to 200, and then 160 to 200 for the y-axis. So what we can probably do right here is the following. You see down here in the lower left-hand corner, you're going to click on that. And the first thing you do is select the x-axis. So the minimum value, we want it to be 160, and then we're going to make the maximum value be 200. And then we're going to do the same thing with the y. So we're going to go to the y-axis. We're going to make sure that that is 160 for the minimum and 200 for the maximum, just so, therefore, it allows us to match which scatter plot that we want to pick according to our multiple choice. So if we take a look at the first one here, it doesn't look like it's that. It could possibly be B. Okay, it could possibly be C, but it doesn't look like it's D. So we have to choose between B and C. So let's take a look at this graph again. Okay, so here, if we make it just a little bit bigger to see if we can see anything that's a difference between those two. So looking at the scatter plot here, we have these 2 points that are located down here, which you can see that are in this particular range over here. We don't have that, but we do have it over here at C. So it looks like it's going to be C. So let's check our answer, and there's our result. Okay, now it says, does there appear to be a correlation between the president's height and his opponent's height? So if we take a look at the answer for C, there's no particular pattern that's telling us whether there is a correlation when you're just looking at the graph. So here it says, yes, there appears to be a correlation. The candidate with the highest height usually wins. Well, that doesn't really apply. Yes, there appears to be a correlation. As the president's height increases, his opponent's height increases, but there's no pattern there. So therefore, when it says yes, there also appears to be a correlation. As the president's height increases, his opponent's height decreases. We're going to say no, because there does not appear to be a correlation because there is no general pattern to the data. And there's our answer.